His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India to Malaysia, Mr. Sri Mridul Kumar, Honorable Deputy High Commissioner Mrs. Archana Nair, Councillor, High Commission of India, Sri Nishit Kumar Ujwal. Ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar, Vanakkam, greetings and welcome to the 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. My name is Ishan and I will be your MC for this event. We are all here to commemorate Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose's extraordinary contribution towards the liberation of India. First and foremost, we would like to welcome His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India to Malaysia, Mr. Sri Mridul Kumar, to give his welcome speech and to officially inaugurate this event.
Dear friends, a very good evening, Salamat Patan. May I grace my address with a belated New Year greetings to all of you. We look towards the New Year with hope, even as we continue to grapple with the challenge of COVID-19 and uncertainties on many other fronts. I am happy to announce that the event today marks the beginning of a series of activities leading up to a grand commemoration of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose 125th birth anniversary, which falls on 23rd January 2022. Friends, it's a timely occasion for us to step back in time, draw inspiration and courage from our common past, and hope for better outcomes in the present and the future, including closer ties between our two countries, India and Malaysia. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose has been the most recognizable names in Malaysia among all the Indian leaders, striding like a colossus across the length and breadth of the country, breathing a new lease of life in the liberation movement through his dynamic leadership and rousing Indians by thousands to join the armed struggle to liberate India from the colonial rule. Malaysian contribution to the liberation of India will not be forgotten as long as we keep the flame of his memory remain alive within us. Allow me, at this point in time, to emphasize that the Indian government has not been indifferent to the great sacrifices of war veterans from this part of the world towards the cause of freedom in India. Friends, soon after India became independent, two key figures connected with the Indian National Army in Malaysia, N. Raghavan and John Thivy, who were looked upon with suspicion in British Malaya, were appointed India's ambassadors to different parts of the world. In more recent memory, war veterans from Malaysia were honored in India during the premiership of the then Prime Minister Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The late Captain Janaki Athi Nahappan, who had served as deputy to Captain Lakshmi Sehgal, was awarded Padma Shri in 2001. Some 5 years ago, on 22nd November 2015, the Indian Cultural Centre in Kuala Lumpur was renamed after Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on the occasion of the official visit of Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, to Malaysia. Friends, Netaji was driven by high ideals that meant much more than political freedom. He believed firmly that the nation must be united in diversity across religions, ethnicities, and languages. Needless to say that it is this ideal that is most required today in both India and Malaysia for our continued progress. Netaji proved himself to be a genuine leader by living the life he wanted others to follow. Friends, Netaji was recognized for his willingness to sacrifice and suffer for the cause he espoused. As Netaji himself had written, it is through sacrifice only that a cause can flourish and prosper. It is an eternal law that prevails in all ages and clime, a law that recognizes the blood of a martyr to be the seed of the church. Looking at the overlapping history of the people of both of our countries, I must say that the high point in our common struggle for independence has been the spirit of sacrifice. Today, we salute the men and women who sacrificed and suffered as they marched under Netaji's command. Many of them have left us, but happily, there are still others in the midst here in Malaysia. And it is to these men and women that I wish to dedicate our efforts in commemorating today's celebrations. In closing, allow me to thank the Malaysian Bengali Association, especially Ms. Swapna Das and her team of dedicated members, as well as Shri Prabhakaran Nair from the India-Malaysia Heritage Group and the members of the Netaji Foundation for their contributions towards the success of this commemorative event. I thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir, for your stirring welcome speech. Our first performance this evening will be an excerpt from a speech of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose he gave in Tokyo. Two poems will be recited. The first, entitled Priyo Netaji, composed by poet Shubhra Ghosh, and the second, entitled Freedom, by the renowned poet Rabindranath Tagore. The recitation will be done by Sharmista Paul and Shudip Sarkar. The background score is a flute cover by Rajesh Chirtala and Sumesh Anand. Please give a warm welcome to our performers.
I am overjoyed to see that you have already realized that the responsibility of winning freedom does not rest merely on the shoulders of our countrymen at home. It is but natural that they should bear the brunt of the burden, and they have been doing so already. But at the same time, every Indian, no matter where he may be living at the present time, has a duty towards his country, and he must contribute his due share towards this final victory.
প্রিয় নেতাজি, অনেকদিন ধরে চিঠি লিখব ভাবছিলাম, কিছুতেই আর হয়ে উঠছিল না। আজ কোনো এক ঘটনার নিরিখে তোমাকে চিঠি লিখতে বসলাম। ছেলেবেলায় আমাদের দোতলার ড্রয়িং রুমে তোমার ছবি। বাবা বলতেন ইন্ডিয়ার আর একজন নেতাজির দরকার ছিল। মা গাইতেন বীর সুভাষের মহান দেশ। এসবের মধ্যে বড় হওয়ায় আমিও ভাবতাম পারতে, তুমি সব পারতে যদি আর একবার আমাদের মধ্যে তোমাকে পেতাম।
Freedom from fear is the freedom I claim for you, my motherland. Freedom from the burden of the ages, bending your head, breaking your back, blinding your eyes to the beckoning call of the future.
আজ উত্তর 40-এ আমার একই ঘোর, তুমি পারতে। কেননা দেশের মাটিতে দেশপ্রেমের মতন জোরালো একটা ঝাঁকুনি দেওয়ার ক্ষমতা তখন আর কারোর ছিল না। এখনো আছে কি? কেটে গেল অনেকগুলো বছর, পেরিয়ে এলাম জীবনের অনেক গলি খুঁজে। তুমি এখন বিমানবন্দরে, সভা সমিতিতে, রিসার্চ ব্যুরোতে, এমনকি ছেলের নামকরণেও। শুধু হৃদয় যেন দোলা দেয় না, শুধু মাটিটা কাঁদে, সেই কান্না যেন ভূমিকম্প, খরা, বন্যা হয়ে চারদিকে ভাসিয়ে দেয়।
Freedom from the shackles of slumber, wherewith you fasten yourself in night's stillness, mistrusting the star that speaks of truth's adventurous paths. Freedom from the anarchy of destiny. Whole sails are weakly yielded to the blind, uncertain winds, and the helm to a hand ever rigid and cold as death.
এখন অভিমান করে শুয়ে থাকবে রেনকোজিতে? আজ যখন ঘাড়ের উপর AK-47-এর নিঃশ্বাস, রক্তের হরি খেলে ধর্মের জিগিরি, তখন শোনাও সেই আওয়াজ। আমি সুভাষ বলছি। মেয়েটা দৌড়ে এসে বলবে, মা মা দেখো উনি আসছেন। পাশের বাড়ির মেসমশাই ডাকবেন জানলা দিয়ে, বৌমা আমি বলিনি উনি আসবেন। খোলা জানলার ধারে দাঁড়াবেন মায়েরা, তাদের ডান হাতে শঙ্খ, চোখে জল।
Freedom from the insult of dwelling in a puppet's world, where movements are started through brainless wires, repeated through mindless habits, where figures wait with patience and obedience for the master of show to be stirred into mimicry of life.
তোমার হারিয়ে যাওয়া জন্মদিনের ভেতর থেকে উঠে আসুক আর একটা 23-এ।
আজ স্বাধীনতার ঠিক আগের মুহূর্তে দাঁড়িয়ে তোমাকে আমার এই চিঠি। প্রণাম নিও। ভালো থেকো নেতাজি।
What an uplifting performance. We would now like to call upon the Honorable President of the Malaysian Bengali Association, Ms. Shopna Das, to give her speech. Please welcome Ms. Shopna Das.
Namaskar. The Malaysian Bengali Association extends its warm greetings and New Year wishes to all of you and your family. On behalf of the Malaysian Bengali Association MBA, I would like to record our sincere appreciation to His Excellency Sri Mridul Kumar, the High Commissioner of India to Malaysia, for offering another opportunity to collaborate in organizing this highly significant event. The MBA is indeed honored and privileged to be part of the 125th birthday anniversary celebration of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, which falls on 23rd January. In the eyes of a Bengali, one cannot escape the shadow of Bengal's bravest son, Subhash Chandra Bose, Netaji, as he is fondly addressed, and one cannot but remember the immense contribution of Netaji to India. As a cultural community association, the MBA is the sole national association that has been actively bringing together its small and close-knit members, be it locals or expatriates, in preserving our rich culture and heritage for the past 7 decades. Such symmetry was also seen in the life of Netaji, wherein he paid a great deal of importance on one annual occasion that brings the entire clan together, the annual Maha Durga Puja. This was evident in a letter Netaji wrote to his brother Sarat Chandra Bose from the Mandalay Central Jail. I quote, "I understand that you will be going to Kodalia during the Puja week. We are making arrangements to celebrate the Durga Puja here." More than 250 years on, and Durga Puja at the Haranath Lodge, built by his grandfather, continues to unite members of the Bose family from all over the world. Alongside Durga Puja, Lakshmi Puja and Saraswati Puja are also celebrated with much festivity. Such is also the tradition of the MBA in uniting its community during the annual Poila Boishakh, Bengali New Year. Celebrations and the Mahakali Puja during Diwali at our heritage home Bengal House in Port Dickson. Apart from annually hosting the iconic Durga Puja festival in Kuala Lumpur. One other significant relation between Malaysian Bengalis and Netaji is the fact that there were a number of our community members that served the Indian National Army and Netaji. Today, we are extremely fortunate to have amongst us some of these veterans such as Yang Berbahagia, Dato Paduka Saroja Param and Mr. A.K. Roy, who will be narrating his unique experiences on INA in Malaysia and on the glory of Bengal's great leader, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our young performers for truly bringing out the rich nuances of our Bengali culture that will be presented in a program that resonates with Netaji's ethos. Lastly, I must thank Sri Prabhakaran Nair, an amazing persona from the India-Malaysia Heritage Group and the Netaji Foundation, for collaborating with us in this showcase to pay tribute to an unforgettable leader, Subhash Chandra Bose, who has left an indelible mark on all of us. The MBA indeed looks forward to continuously collaborate with the Indian High Commission in Malaysia, the Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Indian Cultural Center, Kuala Lumpur, and organizations such as the India-Malaysia Heritage Group in forthcoming events. Thank you and best regards.
We would now like to welcome Mr. Ajit Kumar Roy, past president of MBA and former Netaji youth member, to give his speech. Please welcome.
From Singapore, he made a broadcast to all Indians in Singapore and Malaya, and he in particular called upon the Bengali young people to join the Secret Service. a unit of the Indian National Army. My uncle, Mr. Nirut Ranjan Roy, responded to the call and left for Penang for specialized training in espionage, etc. This group of young Bengali men were trained to go to India and rise and cause a rebellion amongst the people there and also the armed forces. As dependents of those Bengalis who joined the Secret Service, we were given accommodation in Penang with regular food supplies by Hikari Kikan, a Japanese outfit. It is here that I joined the Balak Sena, a boys' wing of the Indian National Army, and rose to the rank of Havildar. Sometime in 1944, Netaji paid a visit to Penang and expressed a desire to be served with Bengali food. So the ladies cooked a delicious meal for Netaji. It was at lunchtime. I, dressed in Balak Sena uniform, appeared before Netaji and gave a salute, to which he responded. He asked what I was doing, and he recommended that I go to Japan for officer training. This was the first time that I came face to face with Netaji. Earlier, I heard him speak at a public rally in Penang, asking for donations for the war effort from the Indian community in Penang. And remember my mother and other ladies giving whatever jewelry they were wearing to Netaji. The war took a decisive turn for the Japanese, and they had to surrender to the Allied armed forces around 1945, mid-1945. This time, Netaji decided that he had to go elsewhere to continue his struggle for India's independence. From what I gather, it was on his trip to Taipei or on leaving Taipei, I'm not quite sure which, where the plane that he was traveling in crashed. And it is said that Netaji lost his life in that crash. I believe his ashes is stored in a temple in Japan. The clarion call by Netaji to the Indian National Army, "Give me blood and I will give you freedom," still rings in my mind after almost 7-8 decades. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Madam President and Mr. Ajit Roy, for your illuminating speeches. Next, we are going to entertain you with a musical tribute to Netaji. The song is entitled A.J. Subhas and O Amar Desher Mati. The performers are Mahua Roy Chaudhary, Tirtho Moitra, Avik Mojumdar, Pramukda Chaudhary, Shriya Das, Beena Ghosh, Bandisha Chatterjee, and Rajat Chatterjee. The narration will be by Sharmista Paul and Shudip Sarkar. The script is by Pranoy Kumar Chaudhary and technical support by Prerana Roy Chaudhary. Please welcome the Patriotic Choir.
চারিপাশে চারিদিকে শোনো দেশের জয়গান। কে ডাক দিল যে বজ্র কণ্ঠে দেয় সাড়া, সে গড়বে ইতিহাস। এ যে সুভাষ, 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 এ যে সুভাষ। ঝড় বিপদে ডরকে শেষে ওইয়ে গেল রে, ঝড় বিপদে ডরকে শেষে ওইয়ে গেল রে। আকাশ বাতাসে বজ্র বাজে একলা চলো রে, বাড়ির সাগর পাড়ি দিয়ে সে আনবে আজাদি, বাড়ির সাগর পাড়ি দিয়ে সে আনবে আজাদি। পিছন পানে সে দেখবে না জেনে সে অবকাশ। এ যে সুভাষ, 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 এ যে সুভাষ।
এই গানটি রচিত হয়েছিল 1905 সালে বঙ্গভঙ্গ রোধ আন্দোলনকে সমর্থন করে। ও আমার দেশের মাটি গানটি লেখার 9 বছর পর কবিগুরু আর নেতাজির দেখা হয় 1914 সালে শান্তিনিকেতনে।
Their most auspicious second meeting was without doubt a heaven-blessed coincidence. It took place when Subhash was returning to India in 1921 after his years at university in England, and Rabindranath happened to be a fellow passenger on the boat. Tagore and Subhash engaged in many heart-to-heart conversations. While in prison, Netaji turned to Tagore's inspiration-inundated songs to give voice to his heart's India liberation cry.
আমাদের নিবেদন ও আমার দেশের মাটি, তোমার শ্যামল বরণ কোমল মূর্তি মর্মে গাথা। ওরা দুজনেই মাতৃভূমিকে অন্তরে ধারণ করতেন। তুমি মিশেছ মোর দেহের সনে, মিলেছ মোর প্রাণে মনে।
O my native soil, I bow my head to you in deep obeisance.
তোমাতে বিশ্বময়ী, তোমাতে বিশ্বময়ের আঁচল পাতা। ও আমার দেশের মাটি, তোমার পরে ঠেকাই মাথা। ও আমার দেশের মাটি, তোমার পরে ঠেকাই মাথা।
তোমার বুকে ও মা তোমার কোলে জনম আমার মরণ তোমার বুকে তোমার পরে খেলা আমার দুঃখে সুখে
তুমি অন্য মুখে তুলে দিলে তুমি শীতল জলে জুড়াইলে অন্য মুখে তুলে দিলে তুমি শীতল জলে জুড়াইলে তুমি যে সকল সহা সকল বহা মাতার মাতা
ও আমার দেশের মাটি তোমার পরে ঠেকায় মাথা ও আমার দেশের মাটি তোমার পরে ঠেকায় মাথা
What a remarkably moving performance. We have another esteemed speaker and co-founder member of the India-Malaysia Heritage, Mr. Prabhakaran Nair, who will be speaking about the significance of Netaji's overseas engagement. Please welcome Mr. Prabhakaran Nair.
On behalf of the organizing committee, may I thank you for joining us in celebrating the birth anniversary of the Prince of Patriots, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. There are three frequently asked questions about Netaji that I would like to take this opportunity to clarify here. The first question is this: why did Netaji leave India during Second World War? Obviously, he wanted to work for independence outside of India as a strategic move. Secondly, he wanted to fight the British from a position of strength. There was no point fighting the British on their own ground. So he went to countries opposed to Britain, where the British were totally powerless against him and where he could be recognized as a leader in exile. Thirdly, he wanted to pursue his struggle without the interference of the leaders of the freedom movement in India. By leaving India, he was able to lead the freedom movement in his own mold. For if Bose had stayed on, he would have had to cover the same ground as Gandhi and the others, who had already succeeded in mobilizing hundreds of thousands of civilian masses across the ethnic, religious, language and caste divide in the cause of Indian nationalism. By leaving India, Netaji could concentrate on the Indian army that had been isolated from the mainstream movement in India. In other words, he could easily gain access to soldiers of the Indian army who had been captured by the Axis forces. Netaji succeeded in Southeast Asia, where he assumed control of the Indian National Army, comprising prisoners of war captured by the Japanese. Now the second question is this: would Netaji have made a great leader for India? One, as Supreme Commander of an army, Netaji would have been able to transform India in the same way that he was able to build a great army, an army with central command and discipline, an army with its own ethos beyond race and religion. In the hands of such great commander and visionary as Netaji, India could have been transformed to become a far greater nation. Gandhiji himself acknowledged that the greatest lesson that we can draw from Netaji's life is the way in which he infused the spirit of unity amongst his men, so that they could rise above all religions and provincial barriers and shed together their blood for a common cause. When Gandhi went to see the INA prisoners in the Kabul lines and in the Red Fort, he heard from them how they had overcome differences of creed and religion, how they used to dine together in common masses. They complained to Gandhi that the British were now serving them Indian tea and Muslim tea. Mahatma Gandhi asked, "Why do you allow them to do this?" They said, "We don't. We mix Hindi tea and Muslim tea half and half and then serve." Gandhi acknowledged Netaji as a prince among patriots. On 23rd January 1948, 7 days before his assassination, Gandhi said of Netaji, "No other leader had been able to evoke such affection and loyalty from all Indians, regardless of religion and language." Now the question: how successful was Netaji in his mission to free India? Netaji's success was evident in the testimonies of soldiers like Shah Nawaz Khan, a captain in the British Indian Army. Nawaz was mesmerized by Bose, switched loyalty and became a major general in the INA. After Bose had died, Khan, along with the others, were tried at the Red Fort. He testified that after crossing over to the INA, he was able to see India from the eyes of an Indian and no longer from British viewpoint. Although Netaji was not around physically, his spirit was still around to ensure that India was liberated. After the war, the INA soldiers were charged and brought to trial in Delhi. The trials angered the Indian army. There was no point for the British to continue ruling India when they could no longer trust the military. The British were forced to leave India. In all fairness, we need to acknowledge that the credit for independence comes from two sides. Gandhi for preparing the ground in India and Subhash Chandra Bose for preparing the ground from outside India. Thank you.
Our final segment for today will be a short documentary on Netaji's influence in Malaya and how he inspired thousands of Indians in Malaya to join his mission, many of whom have never seen India. This film has exclusive interviews with these Malaysian INA and Rani of Jhansi veterans and captures their stories of valor and sacrifice.
At the apex of Southeast Asia, in the Malayan Peninsula lies Malaysia, a vibrant and diverse nation, etched within the history of India's struggle for independence from British rule is the story of those who fought in the distant lands of Southeast Asia, particularly from Malaysia, even though many of them had never even seen India.
The film is an attempt to see Netaji, the Indian National Army, and the Rani of Jhansi regiment through the eyes of the Malaysian veterans who fought alongside Netaji.
This was India's independence in Malaya.
We went on fighting for the independence of India.
Netaji had been going around the country holding general meetings and inspired a lot of Indians in joining the Indian National Army. So most of the recruits for the INA, I think 80-90% were from Malaysia.
Subhash Chandra Bose was one of India's iconic freedom fighters. The Japanese conquest of Malaya in 1942 catalyzed his decision to launch his attack against the British from the soil of Southeast Asia.
There was one Japanese soldier who came and slapped our INA officer. So I asked Netaji, how can this man do to an Indian officer, which is not fair? And this is the answer he gave me. You have no national flag, you are not independent, nothing. He asked me, what are you? You just don't have a country. So what are you demanding? Go to the front, fight the enemy with some power in your hand. जब तुम्हारे पास तुम्हारा हिंदुस्तान को आज़ाद मिल गया तो इसके बाद जो कुछ करना है तुम कर सकते हो. तुमने वो जापानी को मार सकते हैं, अभी तो नहीं मार सकते.
A man of immense patriotism, he strived to free India from colonial rule and mobilized support for his mission from world leaders and common people alike.
They were soldiers, men and women, who were inspired by Netaji, who sacrificed everything they had and joined the Indian National Army.
I had occasion to see Netaji for the first time at a public rally in Singapore. He's a dynamic speaker. I was very impressed. To see him in real life, it was thrilling. We all went to the camp, girls from all over Malaysia in fact. I was a platoon commander.
When Netaji came, he announced that about the Indian National Army, free Indian nation. So we all wanted to go.
The dramatic appearance of the dynamic leader electrified the atmosphere instantly, setting off wild jubilation among Indians there. Netaji assumed control of the India Independence League and the National Army.
I joined the Indian Independence League when it came in at the outbreak of war in 1941. And when Netaji came down to Saramban, and the next day we just managed to go to the big gathering, but we saw him from a distance.
When Netaji came, a whole blaze of sunshine. We were spellbound. That really changed the whole scenario, the whole life.
It had lit up the whole country. So everybody was moving on the same direction. That is freedom for India.
On October 21st, 1943, Netaji announced the provisional government of Azad Hind with a full-fledged cabinet. 11 countries recognized this government. That very day, he declared war against Britain and US.
நாட்டை பாதுகாக்கணும், நான் வெள்ளைக்காரனை அடித்து விரட்டணுங்கிறது அவனை சாதாரணமாக விசாரித்து போச்சொன்னா போக மாட்டேன். அடித்தா அவன் இதை விட்டு கிளம்புவேன். அதனால் ஆர்மி நான் தொடங்குறேன்.
பேப்பரை வாங்கி படித்து பார்த்து தான் நான் போய் சேர்ந்தோம். நானும் எங்கள் வீட்டுக்காரன் 2 பேருமே மிலிட்ரியில் சேர்ந்துட்டோம்.
இராணுவத்தில் சேர்றதுக்கு எல்லாம் வச்சு கொண்டு போயிட்டாங்க. 30 பேர் நாங்கள் தேர்ந்து வச்சுருந்தேன். ஒரு பொம்பளையால் அனுப்பிட்டேன் இராணுவத்துக்கு.
For millennia, philosophers have strived to conquer the fear of death. And here, teenagers had not only conquered the fear of death, but they conquered the fear of danger also.
பயம் நெஞ்சில் இல்லை. நம்ம துணிஞ்சு போகிறோம், நம்ம அடிக்க போகிறோம், சண்டைக்கு போகிறோம்.
அப்போ பயங்கிறது தெரியாது எனக்கும். எனக்கு ரொம்ப எதுவுமே நாம் தான் முன்னுக்கு நின்று செய்யணுன்ற ஒரு ஆசை தான் இருக்கும் இல்லையா, அது பயங்கிறது தெரியாது.
We went to one place in the jungle, slept in the night. Next morning I woke up, saw that is not the root, that is the body of the person. Before that, people ghosts all that scared. But after going to army, I don't get scared.
His clarion call, "Give me blood and I will give you freedom," inspired thousands of Indians to join his mission.
You give me blood, I'll free India. 100% trusted him with this majestic look and all this thing and his promise.
When Netaji appealed to people to give one member from their family to INA, entire families volunteered.
My father had 2 wives, both 6 children. So he promised to the INA, I will contribute 3 people. No money, no things. Human, 3. My elder brother, he was asked to join INA, was free. The second wife, my sister, she was asked to join Pransi.
I lied them. I am already 18. I want to go because my friends are going, so I also joined them.
Recruiting age was, I think at the time, it was 16. Since I was 14 plus, I considered myself to be 15. When they asked me what the age was, I said 16. So he got me into the army registered.
My mother threw her arms in absolute aghast, shock. What? You want to go to join the Rani of Jhansi regiment? And there were about 8 families. All of them didn't want the girls to go. All of us went.
Under Subhash Chandra Bose's leadership, the INA became a significant force in the fight against the British. Wherever Netaji spoke, people flooded the dais and unflinchingly offered all they had. Women shed all their jewelry and placed them at his feet.
Once the Janaki Adina happened, she was the one who took out her diamond earrings and handed over personally to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Eye-opener to many others that such a young girl had that kind of vision.
Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose had arrived at the Selangor Club Padang. I was preparing myself to come here by 6 o'clock, but I had to leave the house at 2 o'clock. So I took my bike and paddled along, left my bicycle on the drain there.
Janki Ati Nahapan was the second in command of the Rani of Jhansi regiment, and she led the regiment when they advanced towards Burma.
And then the men, of course, young boys all were moved, fascinated to join the INA.
Money and material poured in.
Once I remember in Kuala Lumpur, once Doshi, one Gujarati Doshi, he gave 200,000 to me. He accepted and put in the table. He said, "What is this? You are only giving money. My soldier is giving his life."
In a first of its kind, Netaji announced the formation of an all-women's brigade, the Rani of Jhansi Regiment, named after the historic Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi. Many conservatives scoffed at the idea, but Netaji was ahead of his times. The British allowed women only in auxiliary units. The Russians had women in combat, but never an all-women unit.
Look at the future that he had envisaged. It was fabulous. It was the first World Women's Regiment of soldiers. It was coming into the fray of the battle.
ஜப்பான்காரன் கேட்டான், நீ பொம்பளையை கொண்டாந்துருக்கிறீங்க, என்ன செய்ய போகிறீங்கன்னு கேட்டான். அப்போ நேதாஜி சொன்னார், உனக்கு என்ன செய்யணும்னு சொல்கிறியோ நான் செய்கிறோம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னார். எனக்கு வெள்ளைக்காரனுக்கும் இந்தியாக்காரனுக்கும் சண்டை நடக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னோன்னா அட்வான்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டோம் நாங்கள். உடனே ஜப்பான்காரன் முழிக்கிறான், இவ்வளவு கெட்டிக்கார பெண்களை கொண்டாந்துருக்கிறானே. முழிச்சு பார்த்துட்டு நேதாஜி அப்படியே கட்டி பிடிச்சி தூக்கிட்டான்.
Netaji made no concessions for the Rani of Jhansi Regiment, either in training or combat preparedness. They were in no way inferior to the men's regiments. Look at these girls, he'd say. They're in top form, comparable to the best armies in the world.
In war-torn terrain, rife with stories of brutal atrocities, there was never a fear of the safety or honor of the Jhansi regiment.
If you have a rifle and if an officer has a revolver, what is the honor that you have to protect me from anybody of these men? No. I will shoot them. They will be shot. There was no question. There was no question. We were not comfort girls. We were soldiers.
Women aged between 14 to 50 came in droves to join the regiment. Demure young girls were ready to train in jungle warfare and ammunitions.
It was just like any soldier's training.
வலிக்கும், இது பண்ணும், சுடும்போது உதைக்கும், வலிக்கும், சரியான வலிக்கும்.
நாங்கள் ராத்திரியில் 11 மணிக்கு காட்டுக்குள்ளே போகணும் ஐயா. அதுக்குள்ளே அங்கங்கே பொசிஷன் காட்டிட்டு போயிடுவாங்க. அது வரைக்கும் நாங்கள் உட்காந்துருக்கணும்.
INA soldiers were rigorously trained, gaining expertise in artillery and ammunition.
I was so thin, so that when shooting, my body go up like that. My leader will come and sit on me here. Now shoot.
I was posted to Kuala Lumpur. You have to take charge of the largest ammunition dump in Malaysia, that is Batu Caves. The whole of Batu Caves area was filled with ammunition. The Japanese will be working inside, the INA will be protecting outside.
First place we went to was Kamayut, a leech infested place.
சிலருக்கு பயமுறுத்துறாங்க, இந்த போக்குவரத்து சரியில்லை, அந்த போகிற வழியெல்லாம் பர்மாவுக்கு போகணுமா இல்லையா, அது இந்த கரடு முரடான காடு அதுக்கெல்லாம் கூட்டுவாங்க, சீக்கு எல்லாம் அதெல்லாம் எது வந்தாலும் பாருங்கள் தயாராக தான் இருந்தோம்.
We walk during the night time, daytime we rest there. Evening, start again. Every day we have to walk 30 miles. We take 1 week food supply and 500 bullets and gun and our shoes, our dresses all, Everything we must hold back. Very heavy, about 30-40 kilos. Carry that one, we walk 30 miles like that. Every 1 hour they give 5 minutes rest.
On February 1944, the INA went into action in the Arakan sector of Burma.
சிங்கப்பூரில் பயிற்சி பண்ணி தான் எங்களை பர்மாவுக்கு அனுப்புனாங்க.
From Thailand, we went, started walking. Then we reached the Burmese border. So Netaji also came there. He said, you are going to war front tomorrow. You don't think war front is easy. They are everywhere flying the bullets very hard. You must all suffer that all. If you like, sure you determine who want to go now. You say, tell me. Everybody raised their hands.
They signed in blood, pledging their lives to join the suicide squad, Jan Baz.
நேதாஜி கேட்டார், மேலெல்லாம் மருந்து கட்டி கொண்டு இறக்கி விட்டுருவோம், அவங்க சுட்டோன்னே நீங்கள் செத்துருவீங்கன்னு. அதில் 6 சேர்றீங்க. உடனே நான் போய் கை சேர்ந்துட்டேன். நான் சேர்றேன், அதில் என்னை சுட்டு சொல்லு.
The Janbaz were the kamikaze equivalent of the Japanese kamikaze. When my mother agreed to let us join, we knew that we would be facing death in the battle against the British Army.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the end of today's celebration, I kindly request Shri Nishit Kumar Ujwal, Councillor, High Commission of India, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us online to celebrate 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. All this would not have been possible without the support from His Excellency Shri Mridul Kumar in organizing this event despite the restrictions. We all know the immense contribution made by Netaji and Indian National Army during Indian freedom struggle. Particularly Malaysia being Karnabhumi of Netaji and Indian National Army occupies a special place in hearts and minds of Indian masses. I am fortunate enough to meet some INA veterans and was heartening to hear everyone speaking about Netaji. I would like to make a special mention of Mr. Prabhakaran Nair from Indian Malaysian Heritage Group for his efforts and time to coordinate this event. I would like to thank Malaysian Bengali Association for their active participation on this occasion. Our special thanks to INA veterans who have been associated in this celebration. Thank you all once again for joining us. Jai Hind.